Boy, I got a treat for you today. This is going to be my 2020 NFL Big Board, and we're going over 300 prospects. We're not going to go over all of them. I talk a lot about them in some of my prospect ranking videos, but I just want you to know some of the guys that I've looked at over the course of this summer. And again, this is very early list. I think I only have about 350 guys actually ranked, so there's going to be actually evaluated. So there's going to be a lot of movers, a lot of fallers, a lot of risers when it during the college football season, especially as I start to add more prospects to this list. But this is really just hey, keep an eye out for some of these guys. So, we got a lot to talk about. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up just because this was a whole lot of freaking work, especially with the overlays. And it literally took a whole summer just to get this many guys on my board. So freaking show me some love and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Like I said, we're talking about a lot here. And we're going to start with, we're going to go from 1 to 300. We're going to start with number 1 being, he is Spencer Rattler. Number 1, quarterback value, it's kind of a thing. That's why Sam Howell's here at number 5. Quarterback value, originally I think I had him at 6 or 7, but just the value of quarterback, man, it's immense. It is literally the most valuable position on the field, on a roster. So that's why you see those guys so high here. Even though I would say guys like Derek Stingley and Leal and Thibodeau, they're probably better prospects. It's just their value doesn't equate to what a quarterback does for a team. The first thing you may notice is I have DeMarvin Leal ahead of Kayvon Thibodeau. I think Leal is, I hate throwing the word generational out there, but it's kind of freaky, man. It's kind of freaky. He's like the total package playing at 290, playing on the outside for Texas A&M. It's weird. I think this is a guy that can play on the interior, but that could also stick at edge. Like his elite power bend. And this is not to take anything away from Thibodeau. Like kind of like it's 1A, 1B for me when it comes to these two guys. I just think they're that good of prospects. And I'm probably going to move DeMarvin Leal to my edge rankings, but I got him listed here as defensive line because it's true. Derek Stingley is just wonderful. Pure shut down. Like if your name wasn't Devontae Smith, you were getting shut down. So let's go to the next group here, 6 through 10. Evan Neal, he's kind of a freak. Hopefully if you checked out that, I think it was up on Twitter where he was doing jumping lunges on boxes. Like it was freaking ridiculous. Like a guy at 6'7", 360, how athletic he is. Kyle Hamilton, one of the best safety prospects we've seen since probably Derwin James. Kyer Elam and Andrew Booth, man, they're very close, and I would throw Sauce Gardner. You're going to see him in the next group here. They're all very close to one another. This is a very good corner class, especially at the top. It's really hard to kind of really separate these guys from one another, but I think Elam and Booth, they're kind of top tier for me right now, with Sauce just being a couple of spots behind them. Linderbaum, I like Linderbaum a lot, man. Y'all could go to my interior rankings video, man. I think this guy is Jason Kelce-esque. So let's keep this train rolling with the next group. Brandon Joseph. Rare type of range. Stupid rangy. He's played a lot of different spots there last year. We're going to see a larger sample size from him this season. I don't think he's not going to have anywhere close to 6 picks just because I don't think teams are going to be thrown his way. But the way Northwestern used him all over the field, it's just like, oh gosh, this is a very good safety class. There's Ahmad Gardner here at 13. Kingsley Enagbare, the dude is literally bull in a china shop. I've talked about him a lot this offseason. Garrett Wilson, I didn't think a wide receiver was going to make my top 15. He just sneaks right in there, dude. I like him a lot. Jackson Kirkland, I'm also a big fan of him. Me and Alex from the Hail Mary podcast, he thinks this guy should stick at guard, man. I have a hard time believing that at 6'7". Like, he's good at handling leverage at 6'7", but I think he has a special ability to mirror edge rushers on the outside there. 16 through 20. There's Malik Willis making the top 16. Again, quarterback value. I think he's got those high-end traits, those high-end tools to really make him this worth a first rounder. We're gonna see him go in the top 10, unless he has some abysmal season. But yeah, Willis is really good. Adam Anderson, I love his get off. Y'all saw how much I loved Azeez Ojulari last year, and I thought he was just special. He was crafty. He had great explosiveness. Adam Anderson was better at that last year. He's just ridiculous. Jordan Battle, again, special safety class. This guy, you can man him up on whoever. He plays that star role too, so he's playing deep. Like, he is a very versatile tool. And then here comes the other two receivers, and Treylon Burks, Chris Olave. I really like Burks, man. Great combination of speed, size, and physicality. While Chris Olave, best pure burner in this class, man. He is pretty darn good. And then going to the next group here, Kenyon Green, I got him listed as offensive line just because we're gonna see him at tackle for the first time this season, but I really think he has the ability to play out on the outside there. Trent McDuffie, dude, like I said, special corner class. He might be the best zone corner in this class. I love Drake London. The thing is, speed, man. He just doesn't quite have the speed of the other receivers in this class, but after the catch, this guy is tough, man. Tough to bring down. How many, 27 forced missed tackles just last season. Ridiculous. Sure hands. You love to see it. Drake Jackson, he would have been my top 10, man, if only consistency weren't a thing. Because, like, this guy's high-end reps, I think, can challenge some of the guys in that top 10. The thing is, we don't see it enough. I love Drake Jackson. It's just we need to see consistency from him. Christian Harris, I think, is going to be a mover up this list. He's just a special athlete at the linebacker position with his ability to take on blocks, to play man coverage. You just kind of want to see him become a better processor. It's not even that. It's real. I feel like trusting what he sees. Most times he makes the right decision in zone. It's just he's late to it. And again, that just goes back to trusting what you see. 26 through 30. Nick Bonito. He's tough, man. I just think he's so scheme dependent. I don't think he's, what is he? I think he's 6'3", right? 6'3", 238. I don't think I think at most maybe he gets up to 245. He doesn't have the type of frame where I think he could fill out, be like a 250, 255 guy. I really think he's going to be scheme dependent, but for like, I said the same thing about Zaven Collins last year. He went pretty early, so I guess we'll see it. We'll see. Zach Harris, great tools, great physical ability. He just needs a bit more polish. Mike Jones. I'm a sucker for a great coverage receiver, and that's what he is. I listed him here out of Clemson. Oh, dang. He actually transferred to LSU. How did I do that? Golly, dude. That's wild. Oh, well, messed up my overlay. I ain't going back and doing it. I had to make 40 of these suckers, so just know he's at LSU. Former Clemson linebacker, though. Kem Ikwanu, he made Bruce Feldman's freaks list. He says he could be the Mekhi Becton of the offensive interior class this season. Thing is, he plays left tackle. He's not going to play left tackle in the NFL. The guy just loves to bury people in the run game. You love to see it. Myjah Sanders, huge fan. Love his length. Love his explosiveness. But let's keep this going with Zion Nelson at 31. I think he's going to be a very good, man. Very good. He already has the ability to mirror quicker edge rushers. His only down game came against the duo from Duke in Chris Rumpf and Victor Dimukeje. But literally, those guys caused problems for everyone last year. Even Christian Darrisaw. The biggest question, probably play strength. Will he be able to have a more secure anchor? I think he will. He's been gaining weight. He's been putting on mass. So I think we'll see that get better. I think we'll see him this season. If not this season, maybe he decides to come out in the 2023 draft. Regardless, the ability's there. Jermaine Lowell's great. Probably ends up being the top interior prospect if you want to make DeMarvin Leal an edge. Jalen Catalon, golly, dude, range. I'm a sucker for a rangy safety. Freaking Catalon is that. This guy was impressive. And then coming downhill, too. Like, he was a sure tackler, 12.4 missed tackle rate, 19 defensive stops. But, like, deep, you're not beating this guy deep. The only knock in his game is the guy was kind of demolished in the red zone as a defender, which, I mean, when you're being asked to guard tight ends and bigger receivers, yeah, you're more rangy safeties that are probably a little lighter on their feet. Yeah, you need to make sure that they don't get stuck in mismatches or just take them off the field in that instance. Sean Ryan, I think, is going to be a hot riser too, but I'm probably one of the highest guys on him here, 34 on my overall rankings on my big board. George Karlaftis, I'm a huge fan of his type of game just because it translates well to the NFL. It's just he doesn't have that special he doesn't have great length, and he's not doesn't have a special bend flexibility to him to really be an edge, a top tier edge guy. Those guys just don't end up going in the first round, and we're gonna see that with like an Aiden Hutchinson who comes later on my list. Romeo Doubs and Carson Strong make this part of the rankings. I'm pretty high on Strong. I think if it's a safe bet to say if anyone's going to break out this year to be that like Zach Wilson, Joe Burrow of the class, I think Strong has a good chance at being it. But I think a lot of people are saying that too. Romeo Doubs is his receiver. They're gonna they might make a lot of money for each other this season. I'm just gonna say that. Jaleel Billingsley, this is on pure upside with him, man. We've only seen this guy on 300 some snaps, but let me tell you, as a receiver, this guy's a mismatch nightmare, man. He is tough to deal with. Owen Papo, dude, I freaking love this cat. This is my type of linebacker where he is a freak athlete. He can hang in coverage. I want to see more like ball skills and coverage, but he is stupid strong, man. He is he takes on centers and guards effortlessly with little effort. There we go. Sorry, words aren't my strong suit. Pronunciation, I'm trash. Oh, yeah, and I should probably mention right now, like Zion Toipaloa Fetty, there we go, out of Washington. I didn't include him in this rankings. He says he's going to play this year at some point. Gonna have to wait and see it. This guy only had 4 games to his credit, you know. I love him as a prospect. I just didn't feel right including him on my big board just yet. But if he ends up coming out, he probably makes an inclusion somewhere in this range. 41, I got Kenan Slovis. Let's just see if his fourth quarter Kirk Cousins escapability, if we can see that in the first 3 quarters. Breece Hall, he's my first running back on the list here. I like him a lot. I have him at 42. If I have you in my, if you can crack this top 50 at running back, then I think a lot of you. But yeah, I think he's kind of like I think he's like everyone's top running back right now in this class. I mean, there's a lot of guys I like Kenny McIntosh, Kennedy Brooks, that I think could overtake him or at least challenge him. It's just those guys kind of need to prove it first. Martin Emerson, I freaking love him. He reminds me a lot of Cameron Dantzler. I just think he has better. Emerson has better length, and hopefully he has better speed at the combine. Darion Kendrick, character concerns. You can go to my corner video. I talk about that. Jalen Wademeyer, the second tight end on my list here. In terms of receiving capability, very good after the catch. He's also very good at the catch point. It's just he's not an explosive athlete. Like in terms of how he compares receiving wise to Billingsley, it's not even close. It's just, with Wademeyer, you're going to get a guy that can hold up as a blocker. So you got to like that. You got to like that. And then we got edges going right here, man. As you see David Bell and George Pickens, they're very similar prospects to me. Pickens might end up edging out Bell just because he might end up being a better athlete. We'll find that out at the combine. Smith, Hutchinson, Cox. Again, very good edge class. I got all these guys in the top 50. I think that makes 11 edge prospects I have in the top 50. Hutchinson and Smith. I think both those guys just have a game that translates well to the NFL. Cox, I wouldn't say he's like a top tier athlete, but he's got a good bend to him. He had a good win rate in his first year at the SEC. We'll see how it goes this season for him. But yeah, man, a lot of talent. Let's see who's outside the top 50 here. We got Winfrey, a guy that he doesn't play a lot of run snaps, but the dude, in terms of being pass rush and menace, he is exactly that. 27 pressures last season. He is a very twitchy, very explosive athlete on the interior. Charles Cross, I kind of gave in. I was talking with Alex from the Hail Mary podcast about this because I always talk to him about offensive line because I consider him a better evaluator at that than I am. And I guess I kind of got a bit of bias when it comes to Zion Nelson because they're very similar prospects in terms of how they are as athletes. It's just with me, Zion Nelson has the production to back it. Cross didn't have that. He was super inconsistent last year. Keep in mind, though, with Charles Cross, he was going one-on-one with the best of the best from the SEC. So it was kind of unfair. We'll see what the production looks like this year for Cross. But I think right here is a good projection for him at 52. JT Daniels, another guy that I think has first-round potential. He's got a huge arm, loves to throw the ball vertical, loves to press the ball downfield. John Mechie, everyone wants to say this guy might be a first rounder because I think they just really want another Alabama receiver in the first round. He ain't there yet. I like the guy. He separates very well. It's just he's not good after the catch, and he's got some ball skill issues. Nakobe Dean, I like him a lot. I just want to see him get better in coverage. He's a very similar prospect to Monty Rice, I would say. And to be fair, I didn't have Rice this high initially, or at all. So we'll see, man. I like Dean. I mean, Dean, for the most part, he did take over for Monty Rice. He was the reason Monty Rice got benched, but we'll see. Thayer Mumford, I got him listed here as O-line. I think he proved he could play tackle if you need him in a pinch, but he's probably going to end up being a guard at the next level, and he's playing left guard this year for Ohio State. Jeremy Ruckert, watch out for this cat. Like, Ohio State, they don't feature him enough in the offense as a receiver as they should. He's got some legit ball skills, some legit athleticism, but he's probably the best blocking tight end in this class. I think there's another guy that might challenge him in that regard, though. And we'll talk about him in a little bit. Tyke Smith, best slot prospect in this class. Donovan West is a wonderful interior prospect. Roger McCreary is just reliable. He doesn't have the upside of a Noah Ibignagani, but I think in terms of experience, this guy has been exceptionally reliable. But I mean, that was the difference. Noah Ibignagani, I mean, because of his high-end athleticism, that's what pushed him into the first round. I don't think McCreary has that, unfortunately. And then next running back here at 61, Isaiah Spiller. His game just translates. Like, he can be a bell cow. Like, he's going to be very successful in the NFL. It's just he doesn't do much of anything in the passing game. And it's not like he doesn't really tear off. He's not going to be a guy that tears the top off of a defense. He's not going to be like a home run threat, I think, in the NFL. Abraham Lucas is just a stupid safe tackle prospect. He could rise up I don't know how much can he really help his stock. Like, I don't think he's got great upside. Like, he could maybe sneak into the late first round, kind of like Andre Dillard. And I think Lucas is a better prospect than Dillard. I don't know. We'll see. Storm Duck, he could rise up a lot. Keep in mind his 2020 was kind of cut short, so we're going to see a full year of him. Bubba Bolden, Daxton Hill, I got him very close because Bubba Bolden, he needs to produce. And while Daxton Hill, he's great. He's rangy. I like him a lot. So Bolden, he's a guy that could rise or fall. While with Hill, I think he could rise up a bit just because, man, he's not Catalan. He's not Joseph in terms of his range, but he's not far off, I think. This is a very special safety class, by the way. Jared Patterson, very solid interior player. That's why I got him here. McCall Wright, Josh Jobe. If you missed my corner rankings, I said these guys were stupid close to one another. Like they're very close. What separated for me was I guess the amount of penalties with Jobe. Jobe was ridiculous. While Wright, he was penalized quite a bit. I think he had 4 last season, but like Jobe's just overtly physical. Zion Nelson, I love him. He might move up further on list. And Logan Hall is a pure projection at this point. Like, I like this guy's game, but you kind of worry about his size staying to the interior. We haven't really seen him used as an edge. So, a lot of question marks when it comes to Hall, pure projection on my part. Noah Daniels here at 71 could be a first rounder. Needs to prove he can stay healthy for a full season. We just haven't seen that from him. 3 injuries have cost him like a lot there at TCU. Anaya Smith, the dude's just an offensive weapon. It's literally just what he is. Fantastic. That's why he makes the top 100. Overshown, I love him. I love him a lot. He can be a big riser on my list. Jaquan Brisker, I like him in this range. I think he's the best box safety in this class, but at the same time, I think he could play like a split high role. Darion Kinyard, I got him listed as offensive lineman. I might move him back to tackle. I initially had him in my interior list, but the guy is very imposing. I'm kind of curious, how will he hold up in pass protection at the next level? That's kind of like my big question mark with him. And then at 76, Haskell Garrett, good prospect, but guy didn't see the field a lot. Like, I think last year was his first season with 300 plus snaps. You saw what happened to Tommy Togiai. He fell to like the 4th round because of that. Matt Corral, 77 right here, man. Decision making. I just want to see better decision making. Kenny McIntosh, I'm a big fan of Kenny McIntosh. You're not going to see a guy higher than me on Kenny McIntosh. He should be the starter at Georgia when it comes to that backfield. Unfortunately, I don't think it comes out this year just because he's not going to see he's not going to see good volume. I think Zamir White's just going to be hog it like he did last year. Like, literally, he had, like, between the two, White had 100 more carries, 100 more touches in general. Dang it. Kenny McIntosh has a chance to be special, man. Tyler Smith, he has really good tape against Myjah Sanders. Go check it out, man. Especially considering how bad the rest of the offensive line played. Trevor Pennon at Northern Iowa. It's hard to find some film on this cat, but his analytics, they check out real good. Regardless, this guy's going to need a Senior Bowl, much like a Dylan Radunes, to really help his draft grade. And then 81, Trey Turner. Go check out the receiver rankings. I talk a lot about Turner. He's kind of my Josh Palmer in this class. Corey Durden, bull in a china shop. He has a chance to really help his stock after kind of an abysmal year at Florida State. Rasheed Walker, he has the tools to really elevate himself up draft boards, or especially my board. It's just consistency against top tier competition, man. He's a no-show when it comes to facing better competition. Jamiri Sawyer, hopefully that's how you say his first name, but regardless, he plays tackle there, but he gets a lot of help from his tight ends. He feels more like an interior player. Like, you'll look at his analytics and be like, dang, man, this guy's been stout, but he is assisted a lot from like 2 tight end sets, whether it's like 2 tight ends on his side or a tight end lining it up next to him. He gets a lot of help. That's why I really think he moves to the interior. Let's keep this sucker rolling. Ricky Stromberg, quality center prospect. Man, we haven't even got to 100. I'm already feeling it in my voice. Justin Ross, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I want to see him healthy. I mean, last year it was a very serious injury. Not even injury, but serious. The spinal condition is serious surgery. Let's see how he rebounds this season. Kennedy Brooks could be a hot riser. I love Kennedy Brooks. Watch out for him. Jerion Ely. I think I missed an R in there. Not positive. But he's another offensive weapon there for the for Ole Miss. I did miss an R there. But dude's offensive weapon. Guy can do it in the receiving game or in the passing game. He can do it in the rushing game. 91, Isaiah Thomas. Big fan of this guy's game. This is a very special edge class. And then you got Eddie from Washington, a linebacker. Kind of just lacks the height. You kind of worry, how will he hold up against guys that can just bury him against bigger offensive linemen. Kobe Whiteside, I think, could be a hot riser. Watch out for this cat. Ali Gay, kind of same. I don't think he's got like high-end tools, but he was very impressive in his first year being against the SEC. He was a former JUCO transfer. Tywone Mullen, man, he's got slot size, man. NFL teams aren't gonna regard him highly at 5'10", 176. It's a shame, dude. He's been great, but he's also one of the best run stuffing corners in this class. That basically makes you a slot. So that's just where I'm currently projecting him at. Sevyn Banks could be a hot riser, but when it comes to to be a hot riser, he's gonna need to be consistent. Last year really sucked for him. He needs to show better play. Trey McBride was the guy I was talking about when it comes to best run blocking tight ends in this class. I think he could definitely challenge Ruckert. The dude's got some receiving potential to him too. Weatherford, go to my safety rankings, man. I talk about this guy kind of being a freak in terms of his size and how rangy he is. He just, again, playing at Miami, Ohio, probably need an off-season bowl. Fadukasi, good 3-down linebacker. Mathis is a good option on the interior there. That kind of wraps up my top 100. But a lot of these guys, I think like my next 10 picks, I have day 2 grades on. So we got Justin Schaefer there in the interior. Actually, I got quite a few of interior guys because I got Kyler at Iowa. Tyler Davis has a chance to really help his draft grade. It's just he kind of lacks length, he lacks size, but he gets great leverage. He just needs to show he can be as explosive, as disruptive in the passing game as he was his freshman season. Y'all know I'm not high on Jordan Davis. At least I've talked about that in my interior video. Emory Jones, I know Mike Renner, man, he thinks this guy's got huge upside. Just we haven't seen a lot from him yet. So I think listing him here at 103 is kind of fair. Hodges Tomlinson, Ardarius Washington, that's all I'm going to say. And then Cam Bright, watch out for that cat, dude. I need to figure out how old he is, but he's an interesting prospect out of Pittsburgh. Phil Jerkovic might not even declare this year. He might wait for something like next year to come out, where really you only got DJ out of Clemson as kind of the top prospect at the quarterback position. And that's probably about it right now. Like, we'll find out with Bryce Young. So, yeah, Jerkovic, like, he's interesting, man. Big Ben's a good comp when it comes to this guy's playing style. Ventrell Miller, man, he is just a short-armed Troy Dye. I think this is a very fair position for him. Zonovan Knight, dude's been a monster for NC State. Alec Lindstrom, I'm just not as high on him. I'm a sucker for, undersized offensive linemen, especially when it comes to the interior. It's just his anchor is way weaker than I like. I'm sorry. Sam Williams, Ole Miss, man. Interesting name there. Guy that's produced pretty well, but I would say nothing to say. Like he's produced well, but he needs to nothing that'll blow you away, in my opinion. Like a 14.4% pressure rate, 17.5% win rate. You kind of want to get that above 18 to be like, oh wow, Jalen Tolbert playing there at South Alabama, having to catch probably the most uncatchable throws in all of college football. This year he's going to be taking it from Jake Bentley, which, by the way, doesn't make my top 300. Christian Holmes and Isaiah Taylor Stewart, or Isaac Taylor Stewart, excuse me. Those two I think could be real hot risers. I was really high on Holmes last year. And I was just surprised. Both him and Stewart, they just didn't get a lot of snaps until late in the season. It really puzzled me. But I think these guys can really, really put their name in the hat to, hey, we could be top corners in this class. What is it, boy Mafe out of Minnesota? I get it. The dude's kind of a freak athlete, freak explosiveness, but there is no polish to this guy's game. Because the guy doesn't have a high snap total there. I think last season would have been his first really true start in season, and it got messed up because of the stupid Rona. And I think he ended up only playing 7 games last year. Travis Jones could also be a hot riser. Might be, if anything, he's the best run stuff and nose tackle in this class. Desmond Ridder, I think for me, this is kind of high for a guy that's kind of inaccurate. Probably the most inaccurate out of a lot of the quarterback prospects in this class. I can see why he decided to return. If he could show improved ball placement, improved just accuracy in general, then yeah, he could be a riser. But till then, I'm going to keep him right here. I think this is a very good spot for him. Jadon Hasselwood, pure projection. This is based off all his freshman tape, because he was limited to 3 games last year because of the ACL. It'll be interesting. I think he comes in and will probably be the top wide receiver. Maybe it's still Marvin Mims. We'll see. Jahan Dotson, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not that high on him. I think I wasn't that high on KJ Hamler, and I think they're very similar prospects. I don't know what to tell you. Merlin Robertson. I actually had this guy in my first, first round mock. Because I called him Zaven Collins light, and that is literally exactly what he is, except for he's like a day 3 Zaven Collins. He's all right, dude. He's not bad. He has the knack to be versatile, but he gets hung up on tackles a lot. I'm a big fan of KHP there out of Oklahoma State. Y'all know how I feel about him. I've been raving about him for 2 years now. Brandon Smith is an interesting cat here just because of the size at 6'3", 244, and he kind of plays an overhang / slot role for Penn State. Has a lot of explosiveness to his game. Wanya Morris and Daniel Falele, they really need to show out this season if they want to kind of move up boards. I like Khalil Shakur, dude. I'm a big fan of his. He proved he could play well on the outside. I don't know what more can we see from him to really elevate his stock. We'll find out, I guess. Isaiah Pola Mayo, watch out for this cat. I think this guy can be a really big riser, man. I'm a big fan of this guy's game. Fajoku out of San Jose State. He was very dominant there at San Jose State. Kind of curious about his size. He needs to get bigger than 6'4", 233, but he plays a very strong brand of football at 233. Austin Stogner is great size for a tight end position with the type of receiving upside, so he could be another guy that rises up. Chris Rodriguez Jr., his game just translates well. He's what you want in a power back. Avery Young, very solid, very capable corner. I've seen him sneak into some first round mocks. I'm not there with it. Rashad Wisdom. This is actually from Blue Chip. I think it was Nick Price. Giving him a quick shout out. I think it was Nick Price. Hopefully that's who was checking him out. But he's pretty high on him. I get it. The guy's kind of like a mini missile. Like, because he's like 5'9", 206, 205. So the guy flies everywhere on the field. Kind of weird. UTSA, they have a few prospects. Obina Ezzy, I'll figure out how to say his name. He's a transfer from Memphis. Now he's there at TCU. Guy moves really well for being 6'8", 315. I think he moves particularly well. There were times where he got beat pretty bad, where he was just kind of slow on the get off and slow to open his hips. But there's some upside there. There's some upside. Karen Williams, man, he's like less good Demetric Felton to me. I'm sorry I said it. Charlie Collar, he's going to be a solid tight end too. I think there's a lot of tight ends that could end up eclipsing Collar here. Going to the next group, Sweat, dude. He could like, if he could show, like, he showed a pretty decent pass rushing upside. Need to see the next step. He could end up being one of the best nose tackles in this class. Grant Gibson, he's going to be in his, second season, right? No, he became the starter in 2019 there at center. He's been solid. It's just, you kind of worry. I kind of worry about him at 300, 6'1", 300. How will he take on stronger guys there? I mean, honestly, he's held up pretty darn well. So, but he's, again, another undersized outside zone center. I'm a sucker for those guys. I can't help it. I actually want to talk about these tight ends real quick with Josh Whyle and Greg Dulcich. I'm a big fan of Dulcich. I think I kind of want to move him up 20 more spots. This guy is a sick vertical threat. He is better Kyler Granson, while Josh Whyle is an interesting prospect. We've seen only a handful of snaps from him, but he is shown to be kind of this playmaker. He's shown good ball skills. Don't really know what he is as a blocker, but the size, you're kind of curious. Can he hold up at excuse me, he's not 6'6", 6'6", 235. He ain't 6'6". There ain't no way. That has to be a mistype on my part. Holy crap. They're currently listing him at 245, but he's at 6'6". Cincinnati, they're currently listing him at 245. That's interesting. Holy crap. Yeah, watch out. This tight end class, like, low-key, kind of good. Jarek Bernard Converse. He's like I think he's like very comparable to Rondarius Williams from last year, his teammate. Doesn't necessarily have the athletic upside, but he's been a very solid boundary quarter for the last last season, while the previous 2 seasons he was in the slot. Will McDonald, he needs to put on size. I saw Fox like a couple of months ago had him in like a top 10 mock, and I was like, yo, he ain't there yet. Like, he had a stupid impressive like win rate, but 6'4", 230, man, you gotta watch out. Chris Ottoman Bell. He's just not the elite talent of a Tyler Johnson or Rashad Bateman, but I think he's produced pretty well. I think he's a good contested catch guy because he does struggle to get separation. Jack Snyder here at 151. We're halfway through the list, and we're like at 30-some minutes, right? He's like a 6-year starter or a 4-year starter, excuse me. Not very athletic, good full body strength, like decent athlete though. But I think he could be a solid like depth guy in the NFL. We're still waiting on Paulie Neoteo Ote. How do you say his freaking name? Paulie Ne Ote. There we go. We got it. That's right. I had the pronunciation written down from last year. He transferred to Ohio State. We're still waiting to hear will he be eligible. But let's be honest, Ohio State linebackers, they're in a very good scheme where it helps their draft stock a lot. Blaylock, he was hurt last year. We'll see him this year. Xavier Thomas, I don't know how he's going to help improve his draft grade, man. He's just stuck in a bad role there at Clemson. Nicholas Pete-Ferrere, is that how you say it? He's going to be interesting. I think he's playing right tackle this season he played right tackle last year too. But they're moving Thayer Mumford into left guard. That's interesting. But he could be a hot riser. Keep in mind, this guy's a former 5-star recruit. Sincere McCormick, I freaking love him, dude. He's a freaking home run threat, man. Home run threat, 5'9", 200. Those UTSA guys, they're compact. TJ Carter. This is I was pretty high on him going into the 2020 season. When he was playing corner for Memphis, he had a down year, which was a shame because he was shut down the prior two. Now he transfers to TCU, which I found very interesting, and he's moving. He's going to be the deep safety. They might kick him into the slot occasionally, but this guy's got some real burners. He's got some real range. He could be a hot riser. Watch out for him. Nick Broecker, he also could be a hot riser. A lot of people are higher on him than I am just because of the production hasn't been there. He does have a weak anchor, but he did put on weight. I think he said he was at his heaviest he's ever been. So we'll see if that help him be stronger without losing too much athleticism. Ronnie Rivers here at 161, man. Dude's a good running back. Tyler Allegreer, I think is how you say it. The BYU. Just not a lot of he has a lot of tread on his tires. Which means he's got a very low mileage. He's very interesting. I kind of want to just see one more year of him. Like, he's got some good straight line speed, explosiveness, and I could move him up. I think he's a bit of an older prospect, though, too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see more of him this year. We'll find out more about him. Jordan McFadden is literally the only good thing about Clemson's offensive line. There, I said it. Michael Penix Jr., man. Very strange prospect. The arm talent, I think, is there. It's just there are some plays where he's just so wildly inaccurate. It's like, where are you throwing? How can your accuracy go like this? Is like me bowling. So I like to bowl, right? And typically, I'm very inaccurate when I'm trying to hit my spot, right? Like, I'm typically either right on or I'm like a couple of boards to the left or a couple of boards to the right, which it's a big difference in bowling. That's kind of how that's the comp I'm giving Michael Penix Jr. He's like Broshmo bowling. So stupid. Jojo Doman, I like him actually a lot out of Nebraska. I'm a sucker for a good coverage linebacker. What can I say? He was actually pretty solid versus the run last year too. But it's coverage. Coverage is strong, so he might end up just being a coverage linebacker at the next level. Jack Sanborn, I'm probably a lot lower on than a lot of people are. It's just because he's a limited athlete. Like, he needs to shed some bad weight. We'll see if he does. We'll find out more about that at the combine. I mean, we'll see if he can look it, but we'll see. Stevenson, don't know if he comes out this year out of Miami. He's a transfer from Georgia. Didn't get to see a lot of time there, but now he'll go play. And he was mainly playing the slot for Georgia, but now he'll get to go play on the outside. I'm very excited. As a Hurricanes fan, I'm very excited. Derek Hall, he's coming out of kind of a breakout year, but out of Auburn. But we'll see if he can. This is his first year as a starter, so we'll see if he can turn kind of a breakout year into a big breakout year now that he's going to be getting the playing time. Brock Purdy, here he is. I had to include him decently high, which is pretty high. This is kind of this mid day 3 range, right? I I still believe in him, man. I know the first part of last year was kind of down, but I still believe him as a talent. These running backs right here, Tyler Goodson, Rashad White, Letty Brown, I think they're all going to be quality. I just got a few questions about each one of them. Kind of. Like Tyler Goodson, it's got some quality tape. It's just he's running through holes like the size of some garage doors. Like Iowa gives them a lot of room. Rashad White, he's working with a limited sample size here, right? But like what, he only had 42 attempts last year, 2 fumbles. I'm kind of curious about his ball security. And then Letty Brown, I'm gonna just say it, like he feels like what is it, TJ Yeldon? He just feels like TJ Yeldon. Braylon Trahan could be a hot riser. He's just gonna need an offseason bowl. Like he's got some ridiculous range, and I'm a sucker for a rangy safety. Keenan Stewart, though, I don't know if he comes out this year. I think he's another guy that's eligible to come out in 2023, just because he's gonna probably need a Senior Bowl to help his stock. But like the guy was dominant after he moved to nose tackle. Moved from nose tackle, excuse me. So, Doug Kramer, man, I was a little high on this guy early on. Like, I like him. He gets to the second level real good, but my gosh, dude, is he a lunger. Like, there was one play, I think it was against Northwestern, I think, that I saw where he goes for, he gets to the second level, and he goes for a block, like, lunges out. And literally, the defender just steps to the side, just looks at him. Literally, this guy, man, Superman's right to the ground. It was woof. Cade Mays, he kind of looked like he was getting his rhythm last year. Keep in mind, this guy started the season terrible. Like, he got destroyed by, who was it, Mizzou and Georgia, allowing 6 pressures and 2 sacks. We're going to see consistency. Consistency goes a long way, man. Then we're getting to, like, some of the developmental part, or some of, like, where you're, like, reaching for high-end traits, part of the big board. And we still got, like, over 100 prospects to go through. Holy freaking moly. Jalen Green, man, I like him a lot. I think he actually works out better at free. I think that's where they're playing him, right? Like, I think they're playing him at free safety. I really do. I guess I could look that up, man. I got the time. This is going to be a long video anyway. Yeah, because they're not going to play him at corner. I think he can play corner. 6'1", 200. I think he could definitely play corner. But, I mean, with Emerson there, with Emmanuel Forbes, who's a guy you might hear about next year, or for the 2023 class, he's been really good. Don't tell me they got him listed as free. I don't think they should play him in the box, though. He looked all right in his one game in the box, but I think this guy's got decent range. I'd like to see him play a little bit in the slot as well. So Jalen Green, definitely a name to watch out for. Taj Harris and Zay Flowers, they're kind of your after the catch type of receivers. Like Flowers, I don't like how he handles physicality. He's kind of like, I guess you could say Tutu Atwell light, but not really. Like, I would say Atwell was a bit more explosive, but I'd say Flowers handles contact much better. And like Flowers at least proved he could play on the outside there at the ACC. Harris just has the potential to have better size, 6'2", but he's like 164. Hopefully he could put on a bit more size. Keon White could be a hot riser. This guy, he had a really good game against Christian Darrisaw. So, and this was when he was playing at ODU. So now he moves to Georgia Tech. Watch out for him. Zachary Carter, I've been saying it, man. He's my Marlon Davidson of this draft class. I really like him a lot. There's Zamir White. I'm telling you, this guy's just not dynamic, man, as a route runner, or as a runner, as a ball carrier. I'm just not a big fan of his game. So here I have him 189. Let's keep this moving. Xavier Hutchinson made my sleepers video. Check him out. Eric Swinson, I think has the he doesn't have the athletic upside, but he can be a very solid, I think, swing tackle or replacement starter in the NFL. Reggie Robertson would have declared last year if not for the injury. Could have been a day 2 guy. We'll see what that does for him this year. Thomas Booker, I think, is going to be a hot riser up lists. I just think he needs a Senior Bowl. I really do think he needs a Senior Bowl because he doesn't get enough one-on-one opportunities there at Stanford just because of the scheme. But, yeah, watch out for this cat, man. The guy's been he's been very solid for the last, feels like he's been in football forever. But for the last, I think, at least 3 seasons. But watch out. Hot riser alert. You got the the Tulsa corner moving to Mizzou there, and Evans. He's okay. Kevin Harris. I get it. I like Kevin Harris, man. It's just he could be another hot riser, but he needs a Khalil Herbert-esque year. I think that's kind of a good comparison in this, what he can be. I think he's kind of this bigger back that has some great acceleration and speed. So watch out. Maybe he has kind of this breakout season. We'll see. Kane Madden out of Notre Dame. He's making the move from Marshall now to a squad where he's going to be facing a lot better competition. Max Borghi, I think, is moving to slot receiver. I'm telling you, he's moving to slot. I got Kenny Pickett, another quarterback prospect coming out of nowhere here. Not coming out of nowhere, but making his inclusion to the list here. He feels like a solid career backup. Jalen, I think it's Pitre. I think I got him listed as safety. I think he's actually one of the better slot corner only prospects in this class. Peyton Hendershot, man, I like a lot, but he needs a rebound after a bad 2020. Keith Goldman, too, another guy that needs an offseason bowl. Peyton Wilson, I got him low. And I didn't even mention the Baylor linebacker. Was it Terrell Bernard? I haven't checked him out yet. He's not going to be on the list, so I know a lot of people are pretty high on him. Sorry, I haven't got around to him yet. Peyton Wilson, though, he last season was his first year as a starter, correct? Yep, last year was his first year as a starter. He was actually a pretty solid blitzer. He kind of feels more like a run stopping linebacker, but he had a missed tackle problem. First year as a starter, we'll get a better gauge of how he is this season. Going to 211, Master Teague. We're talking about the big boy, straight line speed Haas himself. Here he is. Chris Steele and Ollie Green, I feel like are good depth options at corner. I don't really think there's big upside to either of them athletically. Tyler Beach, I'm curious. This guy, I might move him up more, man. He's been able to keep Logan Brown on the bench for 2 consecutive seasons. Yo, life has been a beach for Logan Brown, man. A lot of people consider this guy as a potential top 10 offensive tackle prospect, and he has yet to hit the field. To be fair, he was regarded as such. He was a former 5-star recruit, so very interested. Alex Wright, edge out of UAB, I don't think comes out, but he's a guy keep your eye on for 2023. I think just because he's going to need an off-season bowl, unfortunately. But he was very impressive, mainly operating as this 3-4 stand-up edge rusher. And then LeBron Ray really should have came out last year because I think I had him in a similar spot. But he's a guy that I think can play in any scheme as a solid rotation guy. Brian Asumoa, I get it. Sideline to sideline linebacker. Didn't look great last year. To be fair, I think last year was his first significant year of play. But was nothing special in coverage. He was a poor tackler. Maybe he takes a big step up this year. I've seen him in some first round mocks. I think it's kind of ludicrous to say that right now, but I get it. A lot of people are probably doing that because they project the talent is there. Ed Ingram and Austin DeCollis. Hopefully I didn't butcher his name. They're your typical LSU offensive linemen. They're big, strong boys that can handle speed and quickness well. Dante Stills, though, out of West Virginia, much like his brother, very good run blocker, very good run stuffer. Excuse me. Keeping this list going, Frank Ladson Jr. I don't get it. I don't get why people are high on him. That's why I got him here at 231. Ronnie Bell, a little bit after the catch potential with him, but not enough to make him a highly regarded prospect. I think he's a solid, maybe like he's your basic slot model, kind of like we saw with Daz Newsome and who was the cat out of South Carolina last year? His name is escaping me. Is what it is. He was your base slot model as well. Colin Schooler, I think, has really helped his draft stock since transferring from Arizona to Texas Tech. He's really showed out as this potential, like, very good coverage linebacker, and man, I think he could rise up boards a little bit more too. Derek King, hey, I'm a Hurricanes fan. Do you? But he is a great college quarterback that will probably need to switch positions when he gets to the NFL, just like Greg Ward. Brant Kuth, they're a tight end out of Utah, right? Yeah. Like he feels like just kind of a big receiver. He is the MVS of ball skills. Love these body catches. I don't think he's like, I don't know, when a guy like Kyle Granson, like I had him listed as a 6th rounder, he ends up going to the 4th round. That could happen to our boy Brant here too. Reed Blankenship, man, he's seen his stock hurt a ton because of injuries. Last year never really looked like he was playing at full health. And then obviously you worry about the physicality and then the durability. That's why here's a late round prospect. Man, there has been a lot of love on Sports Illustrated for this Lewis Sign cat. I think he's solid, just not spectacular. He just reminds me of a DJ Reed, a Richard LeCount. Where did those guys go in the draft? All right, then. Myron Togavaloa Amosa, hopefully that's how you say it. Yo, watch out, man. Like, I kind of like him. Like, he's shown a little bit of pass rushing upside. I think he's got, like, some high-end, like, 3-4 end type of ability. You got the Texas Tech quarterback there, the former Oregon transfer. I'm not high on him. Dude's very inaccurate. Cole Turner could see a big rise in this class, just being in that offense. I think he takes a big hit that Elijah Cooks returns. Because Elijah Cook, he was suspended for the first 5 games, and then he ended up getting hurt in the first game, right? So Cole Turner actually reaped the benefits of having to be in the second target in that class. Scott Patchan, former Hurricane DU edge rusher, solid win rate. Like I don't know, I feel like he's kind of already peaked, but big year could be huge for him. Chase Lucas for Arizona State guy. Oh man, I've been talking about him since the 2020 draft, maybe the 2019 draft. I don't know. But he's going to be a good sub package guy. He's going to be a good special teamer. I think that's what makes him draftable, that type of ability. Same with Dang out of California. He's his special team abilities. It's going to make him draftable. And then there's Ty Chandler, man. I had him ranked real high in my initial running back rankings. And a lot of all that was projection and hype just off of Michael Carter and Javonte Williams. I think this is a more down to earth for Chandler. Jack Jones, man. I've seen Jack Jones in a first round mock. I got a good hearty laugh out of that. The guy is 5'9", 171, very undersized, quick corner. He's going to have to move into the slot. At least he's got some special team capability to him. DJ Stubbs, yo, out of Liberty, man. Watching Malik Willis, I was like, who is this receiver? Oh, man. Like, I want to see a bit more after the catch ability, but he has it, man. He has it. DTR, man, he's stupid inaccurate. It's hard to see him as anything as an undrafted free agent. Yeah. Taylor Riggins is not Malcolm Kuntz. I will just say that. And I wasn't even that high on Malcolm Kuntz. Coney Durr, man, is a guy I've been talking about for a long time. I think he could be a good depth option. He's got good size for the corner position at 5'10", 200. But by no means, he's not going to be the type of riser that Benjamin St. Juste was. Jermaine Martin, I really wish he came out last year. Like low-key. Like on the down low, like I think this guy, he needs a Senior Bowl. He needs some sort of offseason bowl, but like 5'9", 214, nice low center of gravity, and he combines that with some good speed. Like, watch out of all the like the FCS potential prospects to get drafted. I think he's among them. Jordan Williams, he's a transfer from Clemson because the competition there got at the defensive interior got really, really bloated. So I thought the move to Virginia Tech was wise for him. It might get him to. I think it allows him to be a prospect that could sneak into the late day 3. Jaylon Adams, man, he's a good return man. Yes. A lot of people like Christopher Allen. I guess I can see the upside. I mean, we've only seen him in a limited amount of snaps. I still feel like he needs to take a big step to be on anyone's radar. But yeah, some people are really high on him. All right. Tyler Nevins, he's a big back that does big back things. Brandon Sebastian, I talked about him in my sleeper video if you want to go check that out. Could talk about Chris Owens here for a little bit. He kind of played all over the place on that defensive line. He was a little hurt in 2020, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see more of him. Like, that's the thing. Like, we see such a rotation role on that interior. Like, it's such a limited sample size to kind of pull from. Like, unless you're like elite, like kind of like I thought a Christian Barmore was, or you go back to Quinnen Williams, like you're not really going to stand out on that that defensive line for Alabama. Let's keep this moving because I'm starting to lose my voice. Dustin Crum, man, I love Dustin Crum. I was in the boat of Dustin Crum should have transferred once once they were given free transfers for prospects where you wouldn't have to wait the year. I thought Crump should have transferred. It breaks my heart. I don't know if another year, he's going to need a Senior Bowl and then some, but gosh, I freaking love Dustin Crump. CJ Verdell and Cameron Harris, I think, are very similar. They're not similar backs by any means. Like, Harris, I think, is way more of an athletic freak. That's what he's been regarded as. It's just the production hasn't really been there for Harris at Miami. I could speak as a Hurricanes fan. It hasn't. While CJ Verdell, he is a Haas back. I like his low center of gravity, but he's got no vision whatsoever. Too often, he's just running into the back of his offensive lineman, man. Not a fan. KD Nixon. See, this is the part of the draft where you're going to get guys that I'm just not fans of. And they're probably going to slide down my board as I start to add more guys. But KD Nixon, he is Rondale Moore light. He's an undersized receiver that honestly, his forced missed tackle ability, it's far and away worse than what Rondale Moore's is. bargain bin bargain bin Rondale Moore. His hopes of getting drafted really, I think, relies on the return game. Greg Eisenworth, he's like an okay slot corner. Robert Cooper, he's a solid run stuffer. Again, that's kind of dime of the dozen when it comes to your interior guys. Let's keep going. Chris Smith, he's going to, benefit of the doubt, Chris Smith, he's going to get the opportunity to get a good, decent workload there at Louisiana. So I wait in anticipation. Nick Muse was a guy I thought was going to kind of break out the last couple of seasons. Injuries, they've derailed it. So what more can I say about that? Zaire Mitchell made my sleepers list. He's coming from Notre Dame College. That's right. Not Notre Dame, but Notre Dame College. To play there at Florida Atlantic. The thing is, he might not be the starter. Let's actually take a look at their current depth chart. Florida Atlantic University football. No, dang it. Football depth chart. Yeah, let's see where he lies on the depth chart right now. Courtesy of our lads. Yeah, he's right behind Logan Peterson. So that's not good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Billy Zap? I forgot how you say it. Dude played at Houston Baptist last year. Didn't sound like a lot of power. It didn't sound like a lot of big schools were actually came a calling. So he's here at Western Kentucky. But I think he's going to be stupid fun to watch. So check him out next year. And then finally, let's get this over with. My voice is about gone. We're probably at over an hour. This is going to be fun to edit. But Dylan Gabriel, I'm sorry, guys. He's 6 foot, 186. Limited arm talent. That's just the case. Trey Knox, I was watching Treylon Burks, and it's just funny how Trey Knox does not pop on film. It's just, you get a good chuckle out of it. A couple of guys I think can make big rises that I wanted to include on this list because I only saw a little bit of them, but I didn't feel comfortable actually ranking them. But I think they're a lot better than the remaining names I had to put on this big board. Was DeMontre Tuggle out of Ohio. As a MAC option, check. Like, he's kind of fun to watch. And then Calvin Turner Jr. When I was playing NCAA for streams, I was like, yeah, this Turner guy, I need to check him out, man. He's a monster. He actually has some solid film. I don't think it's draftable, but I definitely think he could probably find a practice squad somewhere. So he's an interesting to watch. Nate Landman. When we get back after the season and we check out my top 300 big board that I'll probably have, like, by that time I've looked through maybe 700, 800 different prospects. You're not going to see Nate Landman here. I'm just going to say that. But that's it for the video. Thank you for hanging out with me. This is going to be a pain to edit, but hopefully it's worth it for you guys. So show it the love it deserves. You will get a mock draft. My first personal mock draft based off what I think the draft order is going to be. You're going to get that probably in a couple of weeks before the NFL season starts, guaranteed. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.